Hi, this is Dan from the Lions Tower. I've been asked a number of times now how I do my renders, so I'm just going to, firstly I'm going to show you, but I'm also going to let you have the file. So if you go down to the video description, you'll be able to actually download this Blender file. So everything you see here is all pre-configured and set up for you. It runs on the latest version of Blender, which at this point is version 4.4.3. Download the file, load it up, and I'm going to show you how to render models in it. When you load up, the screen you're looking at right now is what you're going to be greeted with. So this is the camera view. So this is 0, numpad 0 on your keypad. Takes you to this camera view. Everything within the light grey box in the middle is what is going to appear in your render. The cube at the bottom is just a reference cube. It's placed at 0, 0, 0 location wise. Well, not quite, but basically where this cube is placed is where all the lighting is focused. So all of the lights, the white point light, the overhead colour light, the spotlights and the blue backlight, which is like a sun light kind of thing, all of these interact with the area in this frame directly above the cube. Okay, so if we press 7, which takes us to the top view, you can see that the cube is sitting on the intersection of the y-axis and the x-axis. The cameras are just over here to the left. And all of the lighting at the moment isn't visible because it's turned off, so you don't mess with it accidentally when you're doing scenes. But if I come over here and click all the eyeball icons, this will make all of the lights visible, and you'll see what's going on. So we've got a spotlight at the back, which is the blue light, which is a little bit of a backlight, just a gentle one. And then we've got all these little spotlights at the front, which are illuminating the model to show off the details. Okay, so I'm just going to turn these back off again so I don't accidentally click them and select them and move them around during the scene, but I want to make sure that the little camera icons are all selected, they're all white, and that means that when you render the scene those lights are going to be visible. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my 0 view. I'm going to go up to File and I'm going to import a miniature. So let's import STL. I'm going to go to my miniatures index where I keep all my stuff. Let's go to Alucard. I will import the Alucard miniature file. So ZBrush by default renders the Z-axis as depth and the Y-axis is height. Blender kind of does it the other way around. So Z is height, which is the same as what's in your 3D printers. And the y-axis is the horizontal, so the model's basically coming on his side. So we're going to select the miniature, we're going to right click and we're going to go set origin to geometry. So that is going to put the origin where we're going to rotate from, right in the middle of the model. Then I'm going to come over here to location, we're going to click on location and we're going to press 0 on the x-axis, 0 on the y-axis and 0 on the z-axis. Then rotation, we're going to go for 90 on the x-axis and the z-axis I think it was -90, and that puts us on a kind of a straight view. I'm going to press S now for scaling. You could use these sliders here if you wanted to, but I'm going to move my mouse 3/4 of the way across the screen and I'm going to press S, and it's going to, dotted line is going to connect to the origin, and as I move closer to the origin the miniature is going to shrink, and I want to shrink him so he fits within the grey box. Press G and Z. So G, it grabs the model and lets you move him around. Z constrains the movement to the Z axis, so he's only going to move up and down. You can do the same with X and Y as well, but obviously for what I'm using now, I just want this one. So I'm going to position him where I want him, and I'm just going to go back to my scale, and I'm just going to tweak him just a little bit, find a little bit of moving around. Okay, so just zoom in. We can see he's kind of where I want him to be in the scene, so he's pretty much filled the window. Now the reason I'm not worried about the space around him and trying to frame him up nicely and everything is because this is rendering on a transparent background. So you can place this onto any background you want in Photoshop. You haven't got to worry about messing around in Blender. you can literally just take a transparent background render, we'll drop it into Photoshop. In fact, I may even do that in a second and just show you the kind of the conclusion of this process. So right at the moment there's no material on this miniature, it's just as it comes. So if I press F12 to render it, you're going to see the raw render. So it looks almost porcelain-like. It's really, you know, white. There's some kind of like, it's almost got an ambient occlusion look to it. There's not really anything in the way of like strong shadows, high contrast, or anything else. So I want to kind of just tweak this a little bit. So what we've got is on the cube, which is obviously below the scene, there is a material that is already established and created and set up for you. So we come down here to the materials tab, you'll see render material. We've got a colour established, which is colour ramp, which goes from black to grey. You can change this, so you can change this is the shadow colour and this is your highlight colour, or your mid-tone highlight. You can change these as much as you want. So pick a colour that suits you. This is just the one I use because I want the models to look like they are kind of resin miniatures, like grey plastic, unpainted models. You can tweak the settings, you can play with the settings all you like, but for what it's worth, the file is set at the moment. I'm just going to show you how it works. So we click on Alucard now, the miniature, and in that same materials tab, you'll see the materials section here is blank. Now instead of clicking on new, we're going to click this little drop down arrow which is browse material to be linked, and the only material in there is the render material, which is what we've just looked at, which is on the cube. So we click that, and that material is now applied to the STL file. We come back and we press F12, and you can see now it's rendered with deeper shadows. We've got the grey as a mid-tone, and we've got this nice little blue cyan type colour kicking in as a little bit of a backlight, which gives it a little bit of an accent, a little bit more interest to the render. And again, you can tweak the colour of that by changing the colour of the lights, add additional colours into your mid-tone by adding them into that gradient that we looked at. So where we go on to, was it in the preview section? The surface section, sorry. Here, if we move this slider down, so we turn the black down, we will lower the amount of shadow that's in there. If we move this back and then we add another one, we can drag this up here and we can change the colour of this to, let's say, almost white, and then we render it out, and you can see it's changed the colour profile a little bit. It's brightened it all up, but it's kept the darker tones. So feel free to tweak and adjust those settings on the material as much as you like. So what we're going to do, we're going to render the model. In the render window, we go up to image at the top, and then we just go to save as. Okay, so save as, and then we'll call this one Alucard, and we'll save the image. Close that. Model selected, we're going to press RZ 90, which rotates the model to the side 90 degrees. Just reposition him in the window, F12, and we can save that and render that one out in the same way. So image, save as, Alucard 2. Close it. RZ90 again, gives us the back view. Scale him up a touch so he fills the window. F12 again. Image, save as, Alucard 3. Close, and then final RZ90 to get the last view. Image, save as, Alucard 4. Okay, and that's it in a nutshell. That is how you use this rendering engine. It's very quick, it's very easy, it won't take you a lot of time to get things set up. The only thing you'll ever need to just double check, if your renders don't come out as expected, press 7 to go to the top view, and we want to make sure that your model is literally as close to centered on that cube as you can possibly get. If it's too far forward, the model's going to come up too bright, or possibly not bright enough, depending on whether all the lights are hitting it correctly. If it's too far back, it may not render at all. It might be partially missing out of the scene. So straight on top of this block. One of the limitations you'll find with this is it's not very effective at rendering groups of models. So if you need to do 5 or 10 models that are in a unit, my recommendation is that you render each of them individually, but put them all in the scene together. So they're all relatively the same size. So you scale them all at the same time. They're all uniform size throughout the thing. And then when you place them onto the render window, they will all be relative to each other. Some of them may be smaller and not fill up all the space, but what you'll find is when you then put all of those images into Photoshop, all of the images, when you do the compositing, will be the same size. Okay, so download the file, give it a whirl, see how you get on with it. If you use it to render up any models, head over to our Discord channel. I'll put the link in the description as well, and you can post any models you've rendered up on there. And if you need any tips or advice, drop them in the comments and I'll be happy to jump on with another video to answer them. Any more tutorials you'd like to see from a sculpting point of view, rendering point of view, or anything else, please do comment and request, and I'll do my best to try and accommodate. Thank you all, guys, and I'll catch you later, taters. Adios.